Hi guys, Nicholas here at Online Calisthenics, and today we're going to talk about how to build more muscle with bodyweight workouts. For those of you who follow the channel, you know we're specialized in calisthenics. Now it's becoming a lot more popular than it used to be, but still people are missing some key elements to really take their training to the next level. And in this video, I'm going to show you some tips that are very useful to really build a solid muscle and functionality with your training. So I'm going to use one of my Instagram channel. This one is called Street Workout Academy to show you examples of how that works. So the first thing we're going to talk about is proprioception. Proprioception is basically the ability to put yourself into a imbalance setup so that your body has to compensate constantly and find the little things that it needs to be doing to perform a movement optimally. So I'm going to start with basic push-ups to show you how to make it way harder than just a regular push-up. So I like to use soccer ball. I play a lot of soccer, so I always have my soccer ball with me. And this is a very useful way to produce imbalance and create a context in which your simple push-up is just going to become way harder than it used to be. And what it does is it recruits some very minor areas in your muscle chain that you may not recruit when you train on a stable surface. And that allows you to build those detailed little compartments that are not always triggered with classic training. So proprioception is super important. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can do that with your own training. And let's start with the push-up. So in this one, I'm just using my back foot here. Not only I'm using proprioception with that soccer ball, but I'm only using one foot on the ball. So it creates imbalance and it forces me to recruit all of my core muscles to perform that push-up. Let's see how it looks. So the whole way, it really creates some instability and it makes the movement way harder than it looks. So it's very draining. So if you perform 10 to 20 push-ups in a row, which is not a huge amount, it will really already burst you out and you'll feel the gains after some sets. So use that type of push-up. The one I'm actually using in this video is great. The 1 foot on the ball is great. If you're not there yet, just put both feet on there. That's fine. And there's many different ways to use proprioception. In this video, I'm only going to use a couple examples, but please keep in mind that it's super important. So whenever you train your push-ups, whenever you have the chance to add instability to your workout, do it and do it regularly because that's going to create huge gains. So that's an example. Here's another one where I go wider push-ups here. And every time I push here in my other hand, it's very unstable here. It gives me very little balance on the right hand here. So it forces really my whole right arm to stabilize and it just recruits a ton of little muscles that are very good to practice in order to get better. See, I'm actually struggling here. This was after a bunch of sets and I'm really giving all I got at the end just to make sure that I can get back up. So that's another variation of the soccer ball use that you can practice on your own. Of course, you'd be doing both arms, one after the other, superset them. That's a great way to work with the ball. Another good one is the slack line. So not everybody has a slack line, but if you do, just or something, anything similar will make you struggle. So these basic push-ups become way harder when you're on an unstable line, basically. So it's a great way to do that. And once you've tried these, just again keep repeating that pattern and try to add more sets or reps to your routine. And you can add different variations as I'm doing right now. I'm doing some archer push-ups here on the unstable surface. So you can add different difficulty levels to that proprioceptive workout. So that will also take your training to the next level and make you way stronger. So if you have a slack line, try it. If not, there's other alternatives, and rings here are a great alternative. So let me show you how to use the rings for pulling, for example. And if you don't have rings, you can use a TRX. If you have a TRX, that's good. And the rings make that pulling way harder than it is with the normal bar. So see, I'm swinging. It's just you got to compensate really and try to make that effort effortless in a way. But by recruiting all these little muscles that usually we don't always recruit. So this is a quite hard exercise here. It's a one-arm pull-up type of training. So for those of you guys who are just starting with the pull-ups, you can just maybe do some hangs, maybe do some shrugs, maybe do some pull-ups variation with the rings. And again, step it up little by little once you get ready for the harder variations. So rings would be a great way to also achieve proprioception when you need and as soon as you can. I highly recommend it. I'm going to show you a few other variations here that I like to do with the soccer ball. Here's another one. So you just jump explosive plus proprioception. So you would just explode and then hold, explode, hold. And on that unstable surface, again, triggers a ton of little muscles here. And that's a great combo. Really like this one. And here's an example, last one that you can do with a soccer ball. Just for you guys who like to do push-ups. I love doing those. They're really fun to do. They trigger your agility as well. So practice these anytime you need. And again, if you're just starting, you can start with just your hands on the ball and do push-ups. And of course, any ball will work. Basketball, anything really works in that case. There's a couple of other things that you can use, like a foam roller, for example. Just a foam roller will create instability. Either if you put your step, you put your feet on it, or you put your hands. You can alternate, do one set or the other. You can put just one hand on the foam roller and one hand on the floor, one foot on the foam roller and one foot on the floor, etc., etc. There's endless variations really, as long as you keep being creative and you use proper form. That's actually these are all good ideas basically to implement in your workout. The second tip I wanted to talk about today is the isometric holds that are very crucial to progress, basically. I see a lot of people starting calisthenics and they kind of apply the same method that they might use in the bodybuilding classic way of doing things. For those of you guys who know a little bit of it, or others are just using very straight sets, like the 5 sets at 10 type of thing. And it doesn't really work. The reason is just your body gets used to it and it's body weight. So you got to make the stuff harder for your body for it to progress. So isometric holds, meaning really just static holds, really. You want to basically hold your reps. You want to create a plank, for example, is an isometric exercise, but it doesn't have to be just planks. You can do a set of dynamic push-ups, for example, and then hold the last rep up or hold the last rep down. Whichever you decide to do, you want to mix it up with all of your sets. And that's going to create a lot of more tension in your exercise. So isometric holds, very, very, very important to implement in your routine. You can just do them. So just the isometric as a full set, such as this little exercise here that I like doing with the bands. So that's just a hold. Basically, I'm doing flutters here, but you could just think of it as just a hold like that. And it could be an isometric set that you just do for, that's a planche workout or a core workout. It's really covering a bunch of areas. But that's an example of how you just hold that movement. That band is pulling me down. I'm trying to lift it up. And really the correlation of both makes my body work a lot. So that's an example. I'm going to scroll a little bit with you guys here to show you a few others of the isometric holds. And one that I actually really like is the one that you would do at the top of a pull-up. So let me go on my other Instagram channel, the online calisthenics channel that some of you guys may be familiar with. And this one is a beast hold. So add this one after all your pull-ups, for example. Trust me, it's going to make a difference. So you do, let's say you do 10 pull-ups, 8 pull-ups, whichever amount of pull-ups you're doing. After your last rep, try to do that on each set. Basically, you want to pull at the top and hold for 5-10 seconds and then slowly release, or add more isometric holds in the middle, like this one, or at the bottom, just like a dead hang. So point being, there's so many ways to do that. In any exercise, really, these techniques work for everything. Every movement will be benefiting, and your full body workout will be benefiting from doing those isometric holds. So that means when you're doing pull-ups, when you're doing push-ups, if you're doing squats, hold at the bottom, hold that squat down, ass to the ground, and then hold. So, you do maybe 20 or 30 reps or even more, it doesn't matter. And hold that last one down. Give that hold on that last rep, and then push back. When you do your core, when you do, your leg raises, you do 10, 20 leg raises, it doesn't matter, whatever your level is, and then you try to hold that last one up. So if you're advanced, you do an L sit. If you're less advanced, you do a knee tuck hold. If you're not advanced at all, you just do your set, and then you do a dead hang, for example, keeping that nice hollow body hold, just like you would do in that thumbnail here, just holding straight and solid. These will really work over time. So implement that in your daily routines, really. It doesn't have to be, on every single set. So if you're doing some speed, sometimes you can pace it out. But my point being, be consistent with it. Don't just do it once a week and expect results. Do it at least every other day and or every other set of your routines. So be as consistent as possible. There's so many ways that I can't just give you one way to do it. That's why I made those programs. So if you want to have the clear picture and something that's already written down for you, you can just dive into the membership. It's really affordable, one of the most affordable and complete membership that you'll find on the market. I guarantee you results with these. So feel free to sign up for it if you want a very detailed and all the videos and everything that goes with it. And the last thing you can do is a combination of both of these things. That's what I actually recommend in my plans, is combining proprioception and isometric holds in your training is a guarantee of success, really. If you do that, if you don't just stay at your 5 sets of 10 or whatever routine you're doing, and you implement the isometric and that proprioceptive difficulty basically to it, that's going to create such a benefit that you'll be very surprised at your gains. After a couple of months, you'll see clear results. It's going to be very much night and day. So give it a try, be consistent, and practice. It's a very efficient way to make progress, and I guarantee you that it will work. So before I leave, guys, I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel if you find the videos helpful. It really helps me and helps other people like you find the content, because this channel is still very small, as you can see. So it's very helpful for me. So I'm grateful and thank you for that. I appreciate your support. If you have any questions, you can drop in the comment. Always happy to answer. And I will be back next week with a new video. In the meantime, I wish you a great week. Take care, guys.